Alright, back again. So in previous tutorial, as you guys can see, what was happening was even though uh, so if we go on to player progress bar again, so first thing that we did was we were using the uh, bit of values. Values were not that strong, so the changes could not be seen on the screen. So now we have one thing we have done is increase the health of a player to 100, and we have increased the base damage to 10, and time before destruction is 0.3, but that is we haven't used that now. So now what you can see that the it is causing the damage to the player. However, what is happening is that even though the damage is the damage is 10 on the unit that is runner, so the damage base damage is 10, but this character might have this gun or another gun, and the thing is that what is registering the uh, damage is bullet, this component bullet. And if we double click here, so if I play the game, as you can see, it is giving the damage just fine to the player. Each punch lands 10 uh, 10 damage to the player, and once the damage is done, it will it will destroy the game, and in that case it was a runner, so it simply stopped, which has the camera as well, so it stopped the game completely. So now what we will do is first thing we will do is try to pass the base damage into the bullet. So if bullet is being shot by, so if I can open a bullet prefab, this is your bullet prefab, and this is your bullet. As you can see, the base damage is 1, so it doesn't take in effect that who's uh, who is doing the damage. So there are two ways here. One thing is that you create two different bullets, one for the allies and one for the allies and one for the, what do you call it, player. So that approach is doable too, and that will help mitigate the changes in the script level as well, so in the scene level as well, so your player can have special bullet as opposed to the ordinary bullet. And if I can show you in the runner of your inside your runner, uh, as you can see, this is the runner, and this will be taking bullet spawn point. This is bullet spawn point, but it doesn't take the bullet right now, which it should. So if you go to trigger point, this is a trigger point, this is stylized pistol, and this is bullet spawner. So somehow inside this bullet spawner, either we need to uh, pass the different prefab here, or simply we can give, or we can pass the values here. So what this means is that serialized field load damage, base damage passed, and here we will and here we will pass the values by simply in start is equal to this value. Even though it's in serialized field, we can remove the serialized field totally, and or yeah, we can remove it and try to get the grandparent, and there we can get the data values from. Either we can do this, or we can create a reference to this data class, which seems much more suitable. So if we go there, and this is the class, and this can be in serialized field, or we can convert this into data dot base damage, and base damage passed can be public, I guess. So inside bullet we need to pass this if we can. Yeah, so here we need to pass update spawn point. This is bullet spawner. So when the bullet is created, it won't have the base damage value that it's supposed to do, which is kind of sus. So we don't want that. Or we can create another component. So there are multiple ways here, and there is no wrong here right now. So whatever feels more natural to do, you can go that route. No restrictions there. So if I can create this to public, and here in the base damage passed, pass the reference. So here we will simply pass the reference in the data class. So this has the data here, and it will be saved in this, but and this function is called update spawn point, and that is the when instantiations occur. So this is your bullet prefab, and yeah, we need to pass this database damage to bullet prefab. So we need to access this class, control and click this. This is your bullet movement class, and this is serialized field base damage, and we can increase it, or if we can access this here by we need to access this value so we can change it. So simply create a public void update base damage, and here you can simply put so this is your base damage is equal to B float B, and so now we need to access this class update base damage in the bullet spawner class and pass it. So in the spawn bullet, once it is there, set base damage for this. Either you guys can use this, or if this doesn't make sense, this public float base damage passed, you can simply do this data dot base damage. And so now if we have followed these steps correctly, when the when the player shoots, this time enemy should take 10 damage for the hit taken from the player. So if you see here, so here if we can go back to the bullet movement class here, and base damage, if we can see, so here we can write debug dot, again this should work. So let's see in next tutorial why it's not working yet.